Hello and welcome back, fellow disc golf enthusiasts, to coverage of the 2023 New Zealand Disc Golf North Island Championships, brought to you by MDG Media. This tournament is split between the 21-hole Taupo Golf Club layout for rounds 1 and 3 and 18 holes at Spa Park in the second round. This is MPO feature card coverage. I'm Connor Wood.
Great to be here for more
Andrew Gum.
quality New Zealand disc golf coverage. Here we see our feature card today. Connagh McKinstry, he was the 2020 North Island champion, currently rated 985, and that's a familiar face.
Jackson Sullivan joining us. Jacko chucking these RPM discs just so beautifully. Really a legend of the sport and of the region. Excited to see him joining us here.
Yeah, he's got 23 wins,
today,
including that 2017 Australian Championship and 2019 and 2022 North Island Championship here. So we got a few of the old greats. Ethan Stout.
And another familiar face here.
Yep, from the Garden City Open. Make sure you check out that coverage on MDG Media.
And to round out this feature card, Josef Berry, 983 rated, coming in with a well-rounded game, backhand and forehand. Likely to see it all from this man.
Yeah, 983 rated. New face for me, not to be confused with Josef Berry from Sweden, but Josef Berry. Sounds very similar.
Long lost brothers.
Yeah.
We only have one of them though here on hole 1, par 4, 171 meters. You see this beautiful golf fairway, triple mando off the tee, forcing the low ceiling as they want to rip a power drive off the tee and then choose their point of entry to this green. You can come left, you can come right, you can come straight, whatever you're comfortable with. Really a nice starting hole that will let these players unleash off the tee to get started.
Yeah, I got that triple mando, but it doesn't really come into play. It just kind of keeps them low and honest here with the straight drive. Roller. Cool.
I love to see it. You see this beautifully manicured fairway as this thing is blistering down there. Look at that go.
Oh my goodness. Still going.
He's going long of the basket.
Curl up. What a smash. Sweet roller from Connagh. Is that how you say his name?
Takes full advantage, I believe so. Takes full advantage of that short grass.
That was a really, really nice way to start off here.
We'll see Jacko off the tee if he opts for the air shot. He does, as you see this softly turning and flexing. Great ground play to finish, and he is certainly right up there for a little chip shot to the green. Representing Discraft Underground, Ethan Stout.
Yeah, get to see some lefty lines here. Puts a great move on this. A little bit of turn, fades out, center fairway.
We see a good read of Josef's game here off the tee. Hyzer release into the wind, gets some good rotations on that. Doesn't quite catch the edge for the full hyzer finish, but gets a nice glide and skip regardless. They're all certainly right up there, and this is a birdie you want to get.
Yeah, for sure. Not the longest, par 4, a little bit downhill. Get off the tee well, and you get this pretty routine approach here that Jacko nails spot on. Similar approach there.
Josef fading just a little bit early, but I think he's still within the circle for his birdie putt.
Yep, should work out.
This looks very wide from Ethan, but assuming it gets the ground play, he should be right up there. And Connagh from deep.
For eagle.
Oh, what a healthy bid.
Yeah, nice one. It's going to be a tap-in birdie anyway. Really nice way to start off the round with a solid putt there. Josef?
He looks relaxed. He looks good. That putt looks like a practice putt right there.
Yeah, no nerves present there on this first hole. Media coverage and all. Ethan.
Ethan, unfortunately, on the weak side of the chains there.
Heavy metal, but
Actually, does he putt left or right-handed? I haven't taken note. I know he throws the left-handed backhand and the right-handed forehand, but
I think he putts
didn't
right.
check which hand he putts
I
with.
think he putts righty.
That's righty. So he hit left side, yeah. Would be weak. Great birdie there from Jacko, making it look very routine. And from Connagh as well.
Nice birdies.
Hole 2. Par 3, 134 meters. A long par 3 with a slightly elevated tee. These players will want to bomb over these trees. Ideally, if they have the power going through, you can find yourself in quite some trouble. But 134 meters, they will need to control their hyzer and their turn to get all the way there safely. Those yellow flags that you saw on the left are playing as hazard, with right and long playing as OB. If you don't make it there on your first, you can still find some danger on your second.
Yeah, pretty open hole, but quite a lot of distance to get, a little bit uphill.
Oh, that's low, not quite turning enough.
That looks
Tough
like
to see if he got sucked in or kicked out.
Yeah, that's a thick bush. I was just saying, hope he's not deep in there. That could be a very difficult up and down.
Jackson likely going to lean on one of his kahu's here. Maybe the XG variety to get a bit more distance. As you see, that's the more intended line to crush it over the trees.
Very nicely done. Skipping a roll, pushing forward near the circle's edge.
And something we'll see these players dealing with all day here is the wind. Very common on these golf courses and in New Zealand.
Oh,
As we see Josef sneak into that hazard left, he will have a par save from that lie.
yeah, taking that hyzer flip route up the middle and just faded out a little early on him. It's going to cost him a penalty. Nice wide lefty.
I like
hyzer.
this height.
Oop. Sticks right there in the center. You'll have a really long putt or most likely an approach.
And I would guess from his choice of line, going full hyzer, he wasn't trying to push the distance and is likely okay having that remaining little upshot or long putt. Oh, a friendly lie here
Very lucky.
for Connagh. Yeah, did not get too deep in that tree, but also doesn't make it all the way on the upshot. You saw he had an awkward straddle. He is putting, but will be a tester.
Yeah. Pretty good approach, but still some work left to do.
Josef giving it tons of height, giving it a solid bid and keeping it close. Nice putt there. See Jackson for the birdie.
Oh, look good, but maybe just a bit high.
For the big par save here. Looks like headwind.
Yeah, you can hear it ripping. Tree swirling a little.
Ah, yeah.
Hard to
Just
get.
gets lifted.
Tough to get a great read. It looks like it's kind of a little shifty.
This is also Ethan for par here as he fired a bit long on his approach.
Oh, airballs that one. He's going to have a little bit of a tester left for the bogey.
There you go. Connagh finds the bogey save. In the wind, you really don't want to have too many of those 5 to 7 meter putts, which is exactly what Ethan is left with now, also for his bogey save.
fails to connect again. He's a little bit out of sorts on the green here.
Jackson finding the only par, though, with a great putt there.
Yeah, I guess par's pretty good on this hole in the wind. I mean, I wouldn't have expected it to give him so much trouble here, including that double bogey from Ethan, but most of those strokes bled out on the green there.
And 3 throws, but 4 strokes for Josef there with the hazard left. Hole 2 showing its teeth. As players try to regain their momentum, they move on to hole 3. Par 4, 153 meters. They have tons of space here on the right side with OB left the whole way along that fence line. You want to rip one out into this open field and then play this touchy shot into this slightly depressed green as you try to enter this basin, likely trying to spike a hyzer in, as the straight shot could come up very short if you don't crest the hill.
Yeah, I think the last green was kind of depressed a little bit as well for Ethan anyway. But yeah, good description for sure.
Some depressing greens.
Jackson with a good rip here. I like his smooth form. He really gets a nice follow through and full flight on those RPM discs.
Get some great rotation. Something not mentioned is that there is an OB Island green on the right. You see that white flag ripping in the distance, but it is very far away. Even the biggest arms here unlikely to contend with that at all. There's another nice drive, just buttering the earth.
Yeah, much lower line, but similar effect. He's right up there.
And interesting to note, at this point it does start to rain a little bit.
Yeah, it looks a bit dreary.
Great distance there from Josef. He fights all the way up to that leftwards OB line and should have a nice little lateral shot on the hillside.
Yeah, he made that look pretty easy.
He did, didn't he?
Nice smooth swing from Ethan as well. And he's right there bunched up with the first 2 shots. Yeah, there you see it. Umbrella's out.
Here we get our first impression of this touchy upshot, just cresting the hill. That is a beautiful control of the speed as that sits down right under the basket.
Good upshot there, just outside the bullseye.
Both Ethan and Jacko playing the hyzer into the hillside. Josef, so far on the left side, you see he has just a jump putt. A little bit of an unfortunate roll there, but he finds himself right up there. Everyone putting for birdie.
Very confident putt there. Looks like we're pretty good chance at a star frame.
Oh, yeah. Drills the high chains, but catches it nicely. Some of these baskets you see have a little extra loop on the top half on the inner chains.
Yeah, good connection there. Pretty much just tap ins for the final 2, and great way to
good bounce back for Ethan
exactly.
There.
After that struggle, the struggles on hole 2, it's great to see everybody collect the birdie here and get moving back in the right direction.
And for these guys, I think a very attackable hole.
Yeah, it's a long course.
Speaking of a long course, hole 4, par 5, 255 meters. You see these white markers here on the fairway. This is a 2-island fairway. Your first shot, you'll want to push as far up to those white markers as you can, cross over this river of OB onto the second island of the fairway. There is also a drop zone. If you miss the first island off the tee or the second island off the first shot, you have to play from the drop zone, from the first half of the fairway. So a little bit complex, but these players are going to need to hit the first island, the second island, then the green, and then the putt for their birdie. Consistency is key.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep it clean on this one. Get stroke and distance penalty from the drop zone anyway. So crucial to stay in bounds.
That is a premium landing zone there from Jacko.
Very well played.
Connagh looking for the similar line to Jacko, coming up just a little bit shorter, but also well positioned to try and cross on the second.
Oh, he hates it. Came out way early. But I think he's okay.
Yeah, he is short left side, making his second shot much harder, but well within the fairway. Ethan plays over OB the whole way and just sneaks out of the island on the right, I believe.
Yeah, just out by less than a meter or so, but that's going to mean he's going to have to head to the drop zone, and he's double checking to make sure that is how it's played.
Oh, Josef definitely has enough distance, though, off the tee. And look at that on the second shot as well.
All right, that'll play.
As off. He's close enough. He might just have another jump putt approach. Really great display of distance from Josef on that second shot. Perfect accuracy to get a full flight through the trees. And here is the drop zone for Ethan. Crossing over, you see very cleanly into that second island. Should have an all right par chance from there. I was going to say, this is that roller disc that he threw on hole one. Very aggressive line, but he has to keep turning.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
I like his roller game.
Especially in the wind, I find that to be really tricky. So for him to have that confidence to execute that in tournament, very impressive. Jacko going hyzer, hyzer. And he filters through.
Forehand approach. Trying to get up and down for his birdie. He's got to keep it low and get a nice little skip. Very well played.
Look at that. Yeah, really smooth. Even pushed it a little bit too far, but managed to dodge everything under the low ceiling. A nice line. A bit of unforced error there from Josef, hanging out his hyzer approach a little bit wide. He'll be left with a trickier putt than the clean shot would have left him.
Yeah, good up there. Connagh under the basket. Birdie putt here for Jacko. Looking to go 3 for 4. Oh. Off the... I guess there's not really a band on these, but off the top of the basket.
Yeah, so hard if you're a nose-up putter in the wind. But Josef finds the heart of the chains. His third birdie in 4 holes. He has yet to take a par.
Yeah, it's nice to watch his game. He's got smooth power, and he seems very comfortable on the green. Nice clean putts.
Ethan with a par save. Played from the drop zone, so 4 throws, 5 strokes for him. Not too much damage. Jacko finds a par as well.
Tap in birdie.
Yeah, similar round for Josef and Connagh here. Smooth sailing except for hole 2, as we'll see them continue to battle it out here on hole 5. Par 3, 125 meters. This hole has tight OB on all sides, left, right, and long. Players will need to control their distance, hyzer angle, turn angle, and of course their ceiling. With the rising floor and those big tree branches hanging over, really tricky hole to try and get all the way there. You have to play aggressively into a very tight green.
This hole brought to you by Grip EQ, some of the best bags on the market. I've had one for about 5 years and it's still good as new.
Some nice ground play there. His drive skips right to the middle. He'll be a bit short, but absolutely putting for birdie. I can appreciate that. It looks both safe and gives him a chance at a long look. Josef opting for that similar line.
Oh.
No.
Whoa. Funky root, or trunk, what is it?
The stump.
Stumps. Yeah, stump skip. That was very unlucky. The hyzer kind of looks like the safer play, but I guess anything can happen with those big stumps there.
Jacko hanging this one out super wide. It might be too high to get a big ground skip. Yeah, just sort of drops out. Never quite got the leftwards play.
Yeah.
He will also be finding himself OB right.
And maybe pretty far back. I'm not sure where it last was in play, but...
Oh, as Ethan hugs it so close to that left side tree line and brings it back. He is the closest of the bunch, about edge of circle for his birdie putt. With great trust of his disc there.
Beautifully done. Really testing that wood line on the left side. Getting it.
You're right, this is not close at all for Jacko.
Yeah. Big moment here. He's really going to want to save his bogey now. He'll have a putt for it if that just checks up, please. Barely, yeah, he's safe. So he can still save the bogey. Not what he was looking for on this hole in his attempt to get his 3rd title here at the North Island Championships.
That was Josef for par save. He'll be having a tap in bogey. And our first look at birdie here.
Ooh.
Oh, great chance.
Nearly dropped it in. Just a little wide right.
And I like the use of height to avoid going in that plant long.
Yeah, nice safe run.
Drops it down. Yeah, well timed. And a solid bogey save considering.
Yeah, great way to finish the hole there with that circle's edge putt. Stop the bleeding
You
there.
see, that is the theme of this course. You will need distance with all these par 4s, par 5s. Even the par 3s are 125. And a great putt from Ethan.
Yeah, he's stoked.
Really feeling it.
Gonna get a little replay here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As he swats his bogeys away there.
Yeah, showing a little emotion. Great birdie.
Connagh.
Yeah.
Solid putt.
Yeah, nice comeback.
His first par.
That's right.
And Josef still refusing to take a par.
Yeah, ups and downs. More ups than downs. That's good, at least.
Hey, they're attacking the course. That's what we like to see.
Yep.
We'll see if they choose to attack this one. Hole 6, par 4, 148 meters. This tree you see on the left here playing as a mando, forcing players to the right side. But on the right, this entire tree line delineating by that white line is OB. So players need to throw this first shot straight off the tee, hopefully fading left at the end, where they then swing right around the corner to this guarded green. The tee shot really is the moneymaker or the danger.
Yep. Another beautiful hole. Not the longest par 4. Shapes up.
Great flex from Ethan.
Whoa.
Hyzer release, but got tons of turn.
Very nice one. This one brought to you by Zuka. Looks like a really great course to roll around a Zuka card on. Nice smooth fairways.
For the right-handed players, the big swooping hyzer just to beat the Mando and then open up your approach angle.
Yep, that'll do.
Josef playing a little bit wider. He flipped it up to flat. We'll see if this can fight its way back in bounds.
Looks like trouble.
It does not. He might be very early OB.
Yeah, kind of a misrelease there. Not the mistake you want to make. It's almost a re-tee from there.
Jackson sees that, makes the adjustment, playing way further out left. Very similar to Connagh.
Yeah, that seems to be the smart, safe play for the righty backhand. Because now we can see how far back Josef is.
And he's throwing forehand, meaning he's getting aggressive here and trying to cut that final corner. Doesn't quite have all the distance, but a good shape to get himself with a long look.
Yeah, pretty well executed shot, but he's going to be unable to save it.
Just such an early OB.
Yeah, it's really hard to save the par after that. Would take some miraculous work, and he still could throw it in, I suppose. Here's our first look at the approach on this hole. It's fading a little off.
Because he faded so far left, he has a ton of distance remaining. On this 148-meter hole, he probably just threw 100 meters twice.
Yeah, yeah.
Ethan comes in a little hot.
Oh, and it curls up behind that tree. He's going to have a difficult putt from there, even though he's just outside the circle. Hopefully he can stretch around it and make do.
Maybe he can bring out that left-handed putt.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Ambidextrous putt. I think that'd be pretty useful.
I've tried it. Didn't go well for me.
I've tried it as well. It felt so awkward.
And Josef hits the trees, doesn't quite throw it in, but should be close enough for the cleanup. You see Jackson for the birdie.
From a knee, trying to get creative around that pretty wide tree with all those little clone branches coming off it.
Oh, he splits the gap. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, he is psyched up from...
Check that out. He goes between the trees.
That's a cool putt right there. Threading the needle, on the mark, throwing down the hammer.
With style.
Very well done. Left side chain out for Connagh. Can see the weather. Not getting any better. Windy, wet. Must be fairly warm at least. The t-shirt and shorts and everything. I believe it was 20 degrees Celsius. Not too bad.
Josef unfortunately finds himself another bogey. That was, as we mentioned, maybe even best case scenario after the tee shot. So
yeah, I can't be too disappointed.
Cleaned it up.
After that, that was a pretty rough start to the hole.
As Ethan finds the lone birdie on the feature card.
That's 2 in a row.
Hole 7, par 3, 102 meters. Players must throw over this early OB island, but they've got to control their distance and ground play as best as possible. As they come swinging in towards this green, you see everything long can land you in trouble. You want to land as close as you can while still remaining short and try to avoid any big flares or skips on this hard earth.
Yeah, this one brought to you by Discmania. Great discs and great sponsored athletes.
Oh, Ethan's ripped on this one, and that flips up a little bit more than he would like. He finds himself long left, and that may even be a tricky 3.
Yeah, not sure how deep he ended up in on those kind of bushes there. Have to have a look at it. This looks pretty good, but fades out a bit left. Might be a little obstructed, but he'll have a putt.
I like this play from Jacko. Looks like he disked down just a little bit, likely a mid-range. As he gives that a
Ooh.
legit run. Look
Yeah.
at that soft landing.
It looked like it was
Smooth
tracking.
as.
Nicely done. Should be a birdie.
Uh-oh.
Whoa. Yanked.
Uh-oh. Oh, Josef has crushed this one in the wrong direction.
Yeah, total misrelease there. Way too much Anheuser angle, but see if he can get this big spike hyzer to land somewhere close. Not super close.
This now for par. He will once again not be taking par. Josef, just full of potential, tons of power, needs to try and rein that in and get it under control.
Oh, goodness.
Ethan, you can see what he was left with.
It's kind of what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
It looked pretty thick even from the tee. And now I can see it's even worse than I thought.
I think disking down really could be a decision that eliminates that from coming into play. If you're not throwing fairway or distance driver here, it's going to be tough to go long. And a beautiful birdie putt from Connagh.
Nice one. That's a great birdie to get. Nice clean putt. Kept it low, right on the pole.
Oh, Ethan with the bogey save. Great putt.
Yeah.
Especially once you're so emotionally invested in the hole like that.
Yeah, 3 bangers in a row on the green. That one, unfortunately, for bogey, but solid birdie from Jacko there. 2-time champ showing the line, giving it an ace run, and still able to make the comebacker for birdie. And Josef, yeah, also with the bogey.
And here you see the beautiful hole 8. Par 3, 103 meters. You see the early trees with the low ceiling, as well as this initial ridge you have to throw, a very narrow gap. And as you move towards this green with even more guardians offering a low ceiling, players will need a long and straight penetrating shot that fights through the whole way.
Very nice hole. Early gap, late gap, straight shot, 103 meters.
Beautifully framed off the tee.
Yeah.
Connagh on the box. Doesn't quite flip it up to flat, and he gets a big flare leftwards, but looks like he had enough distance. Jackson asking for it to stable up. He fires long. We'll have a circle 2 putt back for birdie.
Yeah, about 13 meters. Chance for a big highlight.
And because of the low ceiling and the high floor, it really does play slightly uphill. I do like disking up to the driver here just to ensure the distance. You would rather go long than short on this hole, so I can understand why these guys are pulling out some high-speed discs.
Yeah, and the grass looks fairly thick, so you can probably be sure you're not going to get any too wild of a skip.
Josef playing with a little bit of height, flips one up to flat, and gets a solid catch.
Yeah, tree love. Puts him right inside the circle. Good birdie chance.
See if Connagh can find this. Oh, the Annie release angle out of the hand. Tried to thread the needle.
Yeah, difficult lie. I appreciate the effort, but he's going to have a little work left to do for the par. Here's that highlight putt we were talking about. Oh, sailed it a little bit high and left, and that one got away from him a bit. Yeah, he's disappointed. Oh, and that was a very uncommitted putt there.
Yeah, quite surprising, honestly, considering his last 3 putts, as you mentioned, have been just slamming chains.
Yeah.
Despite his throwing woes, he has seemed very solid on the green.
Looked almost like
a very nice putt there.
Yeah, nice putt there. I was saying that from Ethan, looked like almost like a different stroke completely. Just something.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Didn't quite have the follow through or the kickoff. I did notice he took off his rain jacket, was just in the t-shirt. Now, I don't think that changes your putting stroke, but just an observation.
Yeah. Oh, no. That one squirrels off right side.
Josef just hurting for a birdie. Cannot find it. We'll see Jacko here for par.
Yep, straddles out and makes good. Nice comebacker.
I believe this could be Josef's first par of the round.
Would you rather have a round with solid pars or a lot of birdies and bogeys?
Hey, he's ride or die. I respect it, you know.
Yeah.
I don't. Look, if you're birdie bogeying, it means that you're playing aggressively and you're getting after it.
Yeah, you're going for it. You're attacking.
I would rather end at 0 with 9 birdies and 9 bogeys than with 18 pars.
Yeah, I think so. It's. I mean, it's great to have a clean round, but the birdies are such a great feeling that you definitely want to get as many as you can.
We'll see if they can find one more here. On hole 9, par 4, 210 meters, this heavily guarded fairway has trees the whole way, multiple tree lines to break through. The fairway funnels towards this very thin river here. As their first shot ideally comes up just short of this, it would require a lot of distance. Their second shot is going to need to clear that covering which we just saw and swing down and left. A great degree of control on the power and hyzer angle required on the second shot and big accurate power on the first. This hole is quite demanding. Although for the right-handed players, I do think hyzer is an option. You'll see him try to fade left before this tree and beat that one. Oh, he may be caught under the low ceiling, but otherwise a very nice line.
Big hyzer flippy shot here and keeps carrying a little bit left side.
Just a ripping wind. Yeah, really tricky to control just how much hyzer and nose angle you need to get a proper flight. Looks from this angle like he has a tailwind. He'll want to throw something slightly more understable, which you see him do very nicely there. Josef looking for that flex line, does not quite have the width in the fairway required. I think this narrow opening off the tee really playing nicely to the hyzer flip more than the flex, and we'll see him from this distance. I think he is just laying up before that narrow part of the fairway.
Not too low.
Hard to see if I assume he came back into the fairway there. Very tricky to try and push that from where he was. Surprised to see him try to get aggressive there, but Jacko is well positioned to try and crush this one over the dividing river. And there you go, folks. He has dissected the hole perfectly.
Nice work.
I think a wise layup there from Connagh. Keep it safe, don't get into any trouble. He's going to now try to cross
Yeah, I think that
this rough river.
showed some good discipline there. He didn't have great footing. It's windy. It's such a big risk to try to do the hero shot there, and took his medicine.
He caught an early tree on the left. I don't know if he crossed the flags there. We're going to have to see where he plays from. He may have found himself in some trouble.
Okay.
Ethan as well. You can see that Ethan snuck outside the yellow flags there.
Ooh, really nice upshot. Almost dunked it in there. Tapping in.
Do you think that was a bid, or is he accepting the layup there?
It's hard to tell. He certainly looked like he went through the routine anyway, so I'm guessing he was trying to make it, but maybe his body just wouldn't let him go through with it in the wind. It can be kind of hard to fully commit, when you're not exactly sure what might happen when you let go of it.
Jackson firing his birdie putt right in. That is a really nice display on a tricky hole of just how to do it.
Yeah. Super good get there, and puts him at 3 down. And that, with that bogey, now Jackson has overtaken Connagh for the lead on the card here. As I said.
And a par for Josef, playing conservatively.
Yep. 2 pars in a row now.
Maybe he found his rhythm.
Starting to level off.
You see here, hole 10, par 4, 206 meters, another low ceiling shot off the tee, but into this wide open field. Once you're up here, this big tree you see on the left now is a Mando, forcing you to play on the right side where this drone is flying. As you approach this low ceiling, heavily guarded green as always, you don't want to fade too far left or right. On your approach, try to slide up nicely on this rough earth. Very thematic. Power off the tee, touch on the upshot, make your putt. Andrew, do you think if I get a lot of tattoos, I can throw like him?
I think it's going to help a little bit. Definitely toughen you up.
Good to know. Maybe get a Kahu stamp right on the back, real big.
Sounds good, man. Scare those discs a little further down the fairway.
You meant to tell me I shouldn't do that, Andrew. I was hoping you'd look out for me there. We saw Josef bleed just a little bit left, but still getting enough distance, I think, to fight his way up there on the second. Similar shape here from Connagh.
That'll do.
Ethan looking like he wants to be playing that flex line, giving it some hyzer release and nose up, some understability to turn it over. Doesn't quite get the full turn, but finds himself up there. He will have an alternative angle to enter the green from. We'll see how it compares to what these guys on the left side are left with. This is going to be another hyzer here.
Clean goes down. Let's see how close he is. Yeah, right there. Just about inside the circle.
That'll certainly play. Interesting from Josef here to take the high gap as well. Similarly, trying to crash in. As we saw the line just displayed, there's another.
That seems to be the play. Come in high and let the tree breaks set you down on the green.
And you can see, so this is Ethan from total different side of the Mando tree, has much more of a straight shot rather than the hyzer, given that he played to the right side of the fairway, and he didn't quite fight through the low ceiling there. Jackson will see if he opts for the big airline or to try and fight low to the ground through the low ceiling.
Oh, the wind just smashed that down. So yeah, if you're
really, couldn't slide.
Yeah, Ethan didn't get the flare he was hoping for. He kind of slid straight, and he's gonna just have to pitch up. Now, if you're thirsty,
I think he tried to lay that up, but yeah, that looks like it had the height to almost go in.
Some serious wind, yeah. I was just gonna say, if you're thirsty for more coverage from this really great event, there's another media team, T-Box Media, some quality local crew. They have another feature card. Make sure you go check them out, like and subscribe. And they have on their card Levi Stout, Ethan's brother, and the MDG Media's own Maxime, as well as the Australian the New Zealand Crush Boy Sebastian Falconer, who we got to see. A little chain out there, low and left from Connagh, and also Jay Watkinson, another high quality New Zealand player that we've seen on coverage this season already.
Fantastic. Really a great time for New Zealand disc golf.
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch all these high-level events. This is the third and final major of the New Zealand swing. So,
as the South Island and national champions have been decided, this is to decide our North Island champion. As we are closing out here, our front 10 holes. Remember, this is a 21-hole layout.
Yeah, lots of disc golf here this weekend. 21 holes on round 1 and 3, and a more conventional 18-hole layout for the moving day second round.
What do you think of the split course tournament layout?
I think it's fun to play multiple courses, and it's nice to watch as well. I think for the players, a lot of times they prefer to just practice on one course. But yeah, as a viewer, I'm down for whatever. I like it all.
Absolutely, forcing our players to have some versatility as we take a look at the standings of the top 10. 4 players tied for first at 3 under.
Yeah.
3 players tied for fifth at 2 under. The battle is still very tight. You see nobody is shredding the course in these conditions. They will continue their battle on the back nine. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, thanks to all the partners, and see you on the back 11.